I'm a little bit of Southern,
and I'm a little bit of West Coast.
and together we're the Nashville Darlings.
Welcome back to the Nashville Darlings. My name is Roxanne Spence, and I'm here with Leslie Scott.
Hey, Roxanne.
How's it going, Leslie?
I feel like I say that all the time. Hey, Roxanne.
Hey, Roxanne. You sing-song it so well.
Yeah.
You have a very sing-songy voice. I've noticed that when I play it back sometimes. It's like you have like these little like da-da-da.
I think that's my nervous habit.
It's so cute, though. It's so cute.
Oh, goodness.
Well, Leslie, how are you doing?
Good. It's been a week, a very busy week. We have had a lot going on at the office, at work and showings and things. And we have a fun event coming up tomorrow, which I guess we'll share about next week. But yeah, what have you been up to?
Well, I got a house under contract this week for a very sweet client, and I'm just so happy she got this house. It's one of those where you're like, you just really wanted to get it for them, you know?
Yeah.
The house fits the person so perfectly. So we got that, so that was a big win. What else going on? I am currently actively failing at planning Carson's birthday.
Oh, but he has boyfriends to come to his party now, so you're gonna have to. He has friends that are boys.
Friends that are boys.
Friends that are boys.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to plan this party.
Okay, here's my thing. I don't know any of them yet. He doesn't even particularly seem keen on any of these boys yet. It's been 2 weeks.
Oh no.
I know. We're gonna do the cupcakes. You know, I'm gonna bring cupcakes to class. I'm gonna bring goodie bags. You know, he's gonna celebrate that way. I'm thinking we just do like a fun day where,
like a yes day.
yes, like we'll invite his cousin out. We'll go to a splash pad. I might take him to the Lego store and just let him go wild in there.
No, do not go wild in there.
Why?
I went wild in New York. We went last Christmas, and I thought this will be a great gift for Barrick. Everything is so expensive.
More expensive than it is online.
Maybe it's just because it was New York.
Well,
I don't know. I don't shop for Legos, but I felt that paying $100 for this Lego kit was just unreasonable.
oh. Well, we may have to reassess. I don't know. That was the only idea I really came up with. But yeah, like a yes day.
That would be fun
for him to do.
And then like Build-A-Bear does like whatever age you are, that's how much your bear costs.
That's so cute.
I know. I mean, I have girls, and so that's why that's what they wanted to do. Carson may not want to build a bear.
Well, I think we could take him to the Lego store. We'll keep it at 1 to 2 Legos, and then move on. Maybe.
Big spending.
Well, in lieu of a party, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's true. I spend a lot on parties, so.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the big 5.
That is a big deal.
Yeah.
He's like coming into his own little man.
He is. I think next year, definitely, he'll have friends by then, and we will go all out. But this year.
You know what, though? We've had plenty of birthday parties where you invite 20 kids and 5 show up.
That's also what I was worried about.
Parents just don't RSVP these days.
And I'm one of them. I remember at Carson getting those like a year ago, like a bunch of like art, like invitations and stuff like that. And we were just already booked to do things, and I didn't RSVP.
You have to RSVP.
I know.
That is the Southern way of doing things.
I know, and I'm a really good manners and etiquette person. I really am, and so I'm appalled at myself that I did that, but I did. I didn't RSVP.
That's okay, I guess.
I will try better.
You will do better.
I will do better.
You will do better. Yeah, we've had plenty of birthday parties where it's just been a couple kids, and I mean, it's fun, and the kids always have fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, big
kids
5.
are kids. Yeah. I think he'll have. We'll figure it out. He'll have a great day.
Yeah. Well, what's going on around town? Are you gonna do that this weekend?
That's next weekend.
Next weekend. Because if you were, the bull riders are in town.
I know. You told me.
I'm going to have to make my way downtown.
Leslie's eyes lit up 3 sizes.
Oh, hi, honey, if you're listening.
Oops.
Yeah, I've never been, and I think my husband would be upset if I took my son to this because he's out of town golfing. So, but I think it'd be really fun.
Wait, you've never been to a rodeo?
No, I've been to a rodeo. I've never been to the professional.
The PBR?
The PBR, yeah.
It's fun.
Okay, so you've been.
Yeah, many times.
Is it worth getting excited for?
I think so. Yeah, I've always had a blast.
Okay, well, that's coming into town this weekend. And I think we might have to, like, mosey on. I have nothing going on, so we might mosey on.
You gotta do it. You guys are gonna have so much fun. You're all dressed up in your boots and your hat and
Well, I mean, I don't know
the part.
I don't own either of those, but
You don't own cowboy boots?
I do not.
I know, and I learned that I can't say you're like not a proper Southern person because you don't own cowboy boots.
Correct.
Because that's not a Tennessee thing, as I have been schooled.
No, I had them when I was younger. Again, gosh, there's a difference between somebody who is like country and somebody who's redneck. That, again, not going to go down that road. But I did briefly have a pair. They're not for me. My daughter has 2 pairs. She loves them. Barrick has his 2 pairs. Mabel would not be caught dead in cowboy boots.
Really?
Oh, she's the fashionista. It's not happening. So yeah, I don't have any. I don't even have a hat.
Do you have like white booties like those? Like the
Yeah, but then I feel like I'm going to look
kind?
like a tourist. Can I just wear...
You can wear just regular clothes.
Yeah, I'll just wear regular clothes.
Put Barrick in
I'll put him.
something.
I love putting him in, but my husband wears this too. But a pair of like cute blue jeans where they're a little tight, up top, and then
the
like
little Wranglers.
yes, and then putting his boots on him. It's so cute.
They're adorable. I know. I honestly, if I could dress Carson in cowboy gear all the time, I would.
He doesn't like it.
He feels, I think, restrained by it.
Yeah.
He kicks those shoes off so fast.
Yeah.
He wants to be in his underwear pretty much all day.
Yeah, Barrick will strip down when he comes home.
Yeah.
But he wore his boots to school the other day, and he like came home and his feet were killing him. So they're probably not like long term. But yeah, so we're gonna have to do the PBR this weekend.
Oh, you're gonna have so much fun. We're actually going. Actually, this is well, it would have already happened, but I think it's actually going on the whole month of August. We are going apple picking.
Have you done that yet?
Not
Before? I have
here.
not. No, I've never done it.
No, there's a place called the Shade Tree Farm in Adams.
Okay, and you have to reserve.
Yes.
Somebody was telling me about that the other day. You have to reserve your time.
Yeah, reserve your time. It's like a 3-hour window, and
there's like a maximum?
well, it's by car.
But I meant like how much you can pick.
I don't know.
I think
they just give you a bucket.
I think somebody has like a limit, because I guess what happened is they would get there and then all of the apples would be. I don't know. I've never been, but that sounds really fun.
I could see that happening. No, it was $25 per car, so we're gonna go. I'm excited.
How far is that from Nashville?
It's like an hour.
That's
hour
not bad.
north. Not bad. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm super
fun.
excited, and it's gonna get me into the fall spirit. I'm
not
kind of turning this week, because you know me, I'm a summer baby. Like, I want sunshine all the time, but this week I don't know what it is.
We've had cooler temperatures. And so I was the same yesterday, and I have this fall candle. I have this fall candle in the back storage room at the office, and I'm like itching to kind of maybe pull it out.
I know.
But I'm like, oh, but it's still summer.
But I have to keep reminding myself, we're in the fake fall.
We are in the fake fall because it's going to be 90 degrees next week.
So we have to resist the urge to pull out all the fall stuff, because we're actually not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to like spend a weekend in the pool. I'm not quite. maybe because the cooler, like you wake up and it's 60 degrees in the morning and you're like, oh, this is amazing. But we have like 19 fake falls in Tennessee. So I'm ready. I just need like 2 more weeks of summer.
I know. I'm there with you 100%. And actually, I probably would have waited to do the apple picking closer to September, but I was afraid all the apples would be gone. So
that's a really good point, though.
I mean,
I would be upset.
You think how many people are going through that apple orchard and picking apples? I don't know. I don't know how it works. So
yeah,
we'll see.
All right, there was another big piece of news that came out for Nashville this week, and we're not like news reporters, or I don't even really keep up with it much, but it's kind of cool because I guess it's gonna bring more people to the area. It's gonna create more jobs for us. So what did you find, Roxanne?
So apparently Southwest is opening up or making Nashville another crew hub. Which is
what does that really mean? Because, well, hold on. I don't know if we've ever mentioned this before. Have we?
I think maybe briefly.
Roxanne is our flight attendant specialist. So, yeah, she knows all about it.
I'm an ex-flight attendant and for American Airlines. And so, yeah, this kind of stuff interests me. But, it's going to be a crew hub, which means that when someone who's working for Southwest, you have different hubs. So essentially, like my hub was LA. So I had to live and work and fly out of LA. That's where most of my flights were. So someone working for Southwest, now they have this Nashville hub. They can live in Nashville. They go to BNA for work. All their flights are coming out of there. So it's actually going to bring in, I think, up to 500 more flight attendants for that hub, up to 200 pilots. So we're gonna have some more people in town for Southwest. They're opening up 4 more gates, which I think this is actually going to be huge, because if you think about how much travel, within the recent years coming in and out of Nashville now, especially with all the bachelorette parties and just everything. I mean, it's just going to get bigger.
I just have 2 small requests for Southwest.
Yes.
So if you're listening, and they're probably not, but whoever's the CEO.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who runs.
Stay tuned. Yeah.
Yeah. One, can you move the gate up? If you've ever flown out of Nashville with Southwest, you have to go to the end of C. It's like C22 to fly out. And it's the longest walk across that terminal.
Is it? I actually haven't
Oh my gosh. It's the longest walk. And then second, if we could just maybe stop delaying so many flights or canceling them. Well, we've just had a string of bad luck lately.
That's kind of been going on recently, right?
Yeah.
All these delays and everything.
I mean, my poor husband took our son Bear to Montana last year. And it was an 18-hour travel day because they misguided him in so many ways, and it was so frustrating, and he handled it well, bless his heart. And then our Mexico, there was issues there. It's just, we've not had very good luck with Southwest, but we continue to fly them because the points they're just unmatched, I think.
Southwest is pretty great, although I will admit, I've only ever used them for shorter trips, really quick trips. I used them all over California. But
and counter offer, if we could just maybe go back to seating. That's tough when you're a family.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. The open seating doesn't really work that great.
No.
Mm-mm. So it'll be interesting to see how this impacts Nashville and travel and all that good stuff. And then there was another interesting piece of news that I think Nashville is very close to having a Wawa store. I feel so weird saying that. I feel like
Wawa.
I'm a baby talking.
Yeah.
I say Wawa. But this is new to me, Wawa. And I guess its counterpart is people compare it to a Buc-ee's, which I've also never been to a Buc-ee's.
Okay, so we just recently got a Buc-ee's, maybe an hour and a half outside of Nashville. It's in Nope, I'm not going to pretend that I know. Cookeville, Crossville, it's one of those.
Oh, that's
it's
right.
headed east towards Knoxville.
Yeah.
And so I guess they're looking at putting one in Clarksville, which is close to like the the Army base. But you can't compare the two. One is a mini Walmart that sells brisket, and the other is a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
You know?
So I've never been to either one, so I didn't know what either one's claim to fame was. So I was reading this article. So Wawa, for those of you who do not know, it's a convenience store hybrid. Apparently they have fresh food and their thing is custom hoagies. And they also have a dirt cup parfait. Do you remember dirt cups?
I do, because my kids still get them in the Lunchables. Like, they make them in Lunchable version now.
So they have that at a Wawa.
Oh. Well, they have a lot of things at Buc-ee's.
Well, yeah, because it's the size of a Walmart. So they showed pictures in this article. I was shocked. I didn't realize it was this big.
It's very overwhelming.
They've got they've got the jerky. They've got, someone said that it was, they have handmade chips. They have fudge. And they said it's a mix of Walmart, a deli, and a dash of Cracker Barrel.
So kind of. But I feel like the thing with Buc-ee's is they went big because it is a Texas-based company. And so because they wanted to go big, most of that store could be condensed into half the size it is. A lot of it is repetitive. Yeah. You see a lot of the same things, just they've created a lot of aisles to put all of those things in. I think I walked into the one on my way to Knoxville one time. So I walked in and there was like a grill for sale and a tent. And I'm like, this is a gas station, but I guess it works. I just don't know where they compare the Wawa with it.
The article, definitely, they decided at the very end, Buc-ee's was the better.
I could see that. I agree.
So, I don't know.
To me, Wawa's just Wawa's just a 7-Eleven, just without the Slurpees.
And hoagies.
And I don't know, they might sell them. Now, I walked into a 7-Eleven in Mexico, and it was so nice.
Really?
Yeah. It was strange, but yeah.
No, I've been to a 7-Eleven, but...
Late at night.
I mean, it's not my favorite place to go.
We don't have many in Nashville, though. Do we even have one?
Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever even seen one.
If we have one, I don't know that I've ever been to it.
I feel like they're dying. 7-Eleven.
They got to rebrand themselves.
Thing of the past.
Yeah. All right, so we're switching things up this week, and instead of bringing in a Nashville Darling, we have brought in a Nashville Beau. I was trying to be fancy.
Oh, I like Beau.
Okay, Beau. Dude. We have Kevin Salgado. I don't know. I know that's super Southern, and that's not actually how you say your last name. But he is with Nashville Media Co. He is our real estate photographer, videographer, guru, all the cool stuff. And he has joined us today. So welcome, Kevin.
Well, hello. Glad to be here. You give me way more credit than I think I deserve, but I'll take Beau. I like that. That's the first time I've been called a Nashville Beau, so I'll take
You're
it.
so Southern now.
Am I?
Yeah.
When I think one of the first times I met Roxanne, I don't know how I was dressed, I forgot, but she was like, yeah, you look like you belong here. She said, you look so Tennessee. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll take that. I think at that point I'd only been here 5-6 months?
Yeah, not a long time.
Yeah.
All right, so Kevin, you are also from California.
Yeah.
So you are our West Coast Beau. I actually had to look up synonyms for darling, but on the male side of it. So that's how I got Beau, by the way. Anyways, he is from California, along with Roxanne. So we thought it would be fun to bring him in and do a little mix of our Indie of the Week mixed with Southernism. And so we are going to have a little Southernism trivia between the two of them. But first, Kevin, tell us, how did you land here in Tennessee?
I was hoping you were going to ask that so early, but...
Your story wasn't ready?
No, I mean, even before I left California, people would ask me, why Tennessee? And I couldn't give an answer. And I thought, I'll figure it out when I get there. But no, even now, people ask me like, well, so why'd you move here? And I have no clue. I don't know why.
You just got in your car and you said, this is cool?
Yeah, that's what we did. I think the last couple of years we were like, well, let's get out of California. So I think it's been something on our mind for a while, but I don't know why Tennessee.
You don't know why?
No, we thought about, I think all the states that most Californians are fleeing to, right? We thought Texas, we thought Florida, we thought Arizona, we even thought about Oregon. But something was just calling us about Tennessee, and we didn't know anybody here. We just kind of looked up whatever information we could on Google and YouTube, and we're like, sure.
And if I remember correctly, you didn't really have a place when you got here.
Yeah, that's right. So the job I had in California, it wasn't really transferable here. So I quit that job, and I didn't want to do that anyway. So I quit that job, and it was a steady 9 to 5, right? Like good pay, good enough to where I was just going to stay there for a while. Anyways, but I quit that knowing that I didn't have that job here waiting for me. So there was that. And then, we sold our house in California. So that gave us a little bit of cushion. And we moved here. We were literally halfway across the country, and we didn't know where we were going to stay like that night.
You sound like Leslie.
Really?
That's what Leslie does with every single vacation she goes on. She doesn't know where she's going. She doesn't know where she's going to stay.
That's what this is.
Picks it up as she goes.
It's just one big vacation. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the best way to be, just spontaneous with it.
It was obviously scary, but honestly, just so much more fun than scary. It was my wife, myself, and 3 kids. We packed up everything. The price of U-Hauls was, I think, about, at the time, from California to here, it might have changed, but a year ago, it was $16,000 to rent a U-Haul.
What?
$16,000. Here's the funny part. From California, like LA area. So I'm from San Bernardino, about an hour outside of LA. From San Bernardino to Nashville, $16,000. From San Bernardino to Memphis was only like $10,000. So I'm like, whoa, like U-Haul, they're kind of gypping us here. So we thought, we'll get it from California to Memphis, and then we'll walk the rest of the way or whatever. I don't know.
Everybody pick up one end of the couch. Let's go.
No, so right away we were like, $16,000 to move all of my stuff from California here to Tennessee? I'm like, no, I don't even like my stuff. Like, we're going to sell everything.
Oh my gosh.
We sold everything. Whatever we didn't sell, we just gave it away. And we packed everything up into 2 cars, a little SUV and a little Toyota Corolla. I mean, when I say we packed this car, I mean, I was to the point where, like, I think I have room for, like, another pair of socks. Hand me that pair of socks, and, like, I think I got a crevice right here.
Oh my
I gave myself just enough room to, like, drive to where I wasn't going to get pulled over for, like, impeding my vision or whatever. But, I mean, this car was packed. And it's funny because when I got here, a buddy of ours that also moved here around the same time, he saw all the stuff that we brought here. He's like, you guys just brought a bunch of home decor. We're like, it's our house. Like, But, so we moved here. No job, no place lined up. Like, we were... On the way here, on the drive here, we were calling like different houses for rent. We were calling like different landlords and like, hey, I don't know. We kind of winged it. Like, when we bought our house in California, we bought a house in an area that I didn't really love, but it was just kind of like perfect place, perfect time. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want that to happen to me again out here in Tennessee in a place that I don't know anyone. Like, I literally
you didn't know the lay of the land.
Yeah, so I didn't want to just buy a house and hope that it was cool. So
work out.
I was gonna move here and rent somewhere for a year and then kind of figure it out as we.
So how far, Roxanne, where you're from to where he came from in California? How far apart?
Probably 8 hours away.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're from Northern California.
Mm-hmm. Well, I grew up in the Bay Area in Contra Costa County, so like 40 minutes outside of San Francisco. And if we wanted to go to LA, it would be probably like an 8-hour drive on the 5.
Yeah.
And
I forget how big California is.
Yeah.
Because here, Tennessee's long, like horizontally.
Yeah.
So from like, we're in the middle.
Which is different.
Yeah, we're in the middle, but from like here to Memphis is 3 hours. From here to the other end, like kind of Knoxville. Chattanooga. Yeah, it's like another 3-4 hours. But California is huge.
It's huge.
So,
And then I lived in LA for part of the time. And so I was in your neck of the woods for like 4 or 5 years as I was older. But I mean, you were in the South, I was in the North.
Is there a difference between the two?
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
NorCal versus SoCal.
Yeah.
It's like
so
one
gross.
more. What do you mean it's so gross?
I hate it when they say NorCal or it's so ugh. But yeah, there's a big difference.
Huge. Like I feel like they're two completely different states.
They should be.
I feel like California should be split up into 3 states.
I wish that we had like Roxanne's face on this because she looks disgusted.
Oh my god.
like Kevin came from a different world. It's just not.
I would actually say it's the disgust is. This is gonna sound awful, and I don't mean it that way, but like I loved living in Southern California way more than I was living in Northern California. I don't like Northern California's weather. I really just there's a different vibe. Like the San Francisco Bay Area is very I'm gonna get in trouble, but it's a more uptight kind of population, and I would say that Southern California definitely lends to a more laid back, easygoing, just kind of.
I think when I think of like
different.
Southern California, it's like a beach town. But then you say Northern California, and I'm like, it's a beach town. Like, you know, like.
Well, Southern California beaches are very different than Northern California. Northern California beaches are more rocky, and it's not like you can just go.
So it's not like like the whole state's not like
no,
Malibu.
it's not like Malibu. I wish, but no.
Yeah, and then even Southern California, right? Like I meet a lot of people. Like you could just tell. You could just tell when you run into a Californian out here in Tennessee. It's like you might as well have a sticker on your forehead. I don't know what it is. Like, you know, I think the Californians that are moving here do a really good job at fitting into like the Tennessee culture, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. But even in California, like it's just because it's such a big state, there's different like cultures, different vibes even in Southern California versus Northern California. So when I meet people that are from California here, the first question is, North or South California? You know, Northern or Southern California? We don't say NorCal or SoCal. Northern California or Southern California.
And like, I don't know how it was in Southern California, but in Northern California, it varied too. Like, if you were from the San Francisco Bay Area or you were from, like, say, Oakland.
Exactly. And it's exactly how it is in Southern California.
Completely different areas. Like, the dialect was different. The way people use slang was different. And Southern California, I guess maybe a little bit where you were closer to the beach versus LA versus more out in the county. Yeah,
so where, I say an hour outside of LA, but I think anywhere in that area, you're pretty close to a beach. Like, but then Southern California is almost two different things. So you got people from like LA area and people from San Diego area.
Oh, San Diego, the whole other world.
My head is spinning.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so it's kind of like, hey, I'm from Tennessee. But are you from Memphis? Because that's completely different than Nashville, and that's completely different from Knoxville. So you guys kind of have the exact
I feel
same
like you
thing
have
going
like
on.
mountain people, and then you just have Tennessee.
Okay.
There's that.
But,
I see that. Yeah, I see that.
All right, so you made it here, and now you've started this company that has taken off.
Yeah.
We have to like grab him when we can. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's this was more of a hobby back in California. Like I've always loved taking pictures and video, whatever. And then it's like I had a buddy who was a realtor or a cousin's friend, whatever. Like, hey, can you come take pictures of his house? Sure. Like, no problem. And I don't know if it was just, I don't know if my mindset wasn't there for it, or if maybe that market is just kind of harder, I guess, to break into with it being more competition. And also, like, the job that I had, it would take me an hour and a half to get to work and 2 to 3 hours to get back home every day.
Yeah.
And that was from one destination to another. So now imagine if I'm a real estate photographer and I have to hit up 3 or 4 different locations in that area in a day. It'd be impossible. I wouldn't be able to do it.
You couldn't even work as much as you wanted to.
Like, it's so funny. I hear people complain about the traffic here in Nashville. And you guys touched on it, in your last episode.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there is traffic here. Like, trying to get in and out of Nashville sometimes, like, it could suck a little bit, but it is not
40 minutes max.
Nothing compared to traffic in LA. Nothing. I mean, so again, I'll reiterate because I think it's like people are gonna think I'm making that up, but I have the receipts. I got screenshots to prove. Hour and a half to work in the morning, 2.5 hours to 3 hours back, and that was quote unquote swing shift. So 2 to 10, which was the least amount of traffic, the people that were on the day shift, forget about it. That drive from where I was going would have been impossible. Like going home, like you might as well just sleep out by work and wait for the sun to come up the next day.
And that's what a lot of people do in California. Like my husband, what should have been a 40-minute drive into Oakland or San Francisco was 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you're in standstill traffic the entire time.
So there's not like trains and...
There is
BART.
But it's like, it's like one route. So you still have to drive to the train station where you're starting, and then wherever you end up, then you still have to like jump on a bird scooter or a taxi or whatever it is, or Uber, right? Some boomer over here in the taxi. Who takes taxis anymore? You have to jump in an Uber and then go to where you're gonna end up. But and I'm sure someone's gonna listen like, oh no, that's not all California, but it's a lot of it.
It's a lot of it.
It wasn't just me making the drive 3.5 hours. Like it was a bunch of other people that made up that 3-hour drive.
Yeah.
And it was, just I remember it was like Labor Day weekend on a Friday afternoon, trying to drive with traffic from LA to San Bernardino area. I remember opening up the map to see how long it was going to take me to get home. It was like 6.5 hours, which in the morning it was like a 12-hour shift. I got to, where was it? El Segundo, so pretty close to LAX. I got there in about just under an hour because it was a pretty far drive. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm doing like 80 or 65, right? Somewhere around there.
You're the speed limit.
I'm going the speed limit, right? I'm going very safely down the 10 freeway from San Bernardino area. And if anyone's from that area, it was more specifically it was Fontana. So.
Oh, nice.
But from the San Bernardino area on the 10 freeway all the way to El Segundo, it took me about let's call it an hour to get there in the morning. And then all of a sudden, the drive home, 6.5 hours.
And you're like, I'm going to stay the night.
Yeah, no, I looked at the map, I laughed, and I just reclined my seat. I was like, I'm just going to take a nap.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was raining too. So that's, it wasn't like that every day, but I wasn't shocked, I guess, when I saw that.
Yeah.
And anyways, what were we talking about?
Well, and then hence why there's been a mass exodus for multiple reasons, but that's a big reason.
Yeah, and it's not just the traffic. It's and not everybody. I think I started to touch on that, but I lost my train of thought. I do that a lot, so you guys are gonna have to keep me on track.
It's okay. But I can edit this too.
Right, cool.
Don't worry.
But it's not everybody in California had to deal with the traffic. It was a lot of people, and it wasn't just that. Forcing me out of California. It was a bunch of other things, and that's a whole different episode, right? We can talk about that all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just got to a point where I'm like, you know what? Like, I was born and raised in California. It's all I ever knew. I, took vacation here and there, but I just, more than anything, my wife was the one kind of pushing us to kind of get out of California. I was more of like, well, why?
You know what though? I think real estate agents in California are a bit delusional or in denial to how many people are actually leaving the state. A huge part of my clientele this year has been Californians. Same for you, same for some of, our other agents. And they're like, oh no, it just seems like that, but we have so many moving in. I mean...
I do have friends in California who are real estate agents, and just as many people who I would say have moved out to test out other states, I'm hearing that it's not for everyone, though. They leave this culture that they have been used to, and then, especially in Southern California, I would say, because the beach is a hard thing to replicate in a landlocked state. So, and
y'all don't like our lakes?
Well, lakes are cool, but it's different than beach culture. So what I've been hearing is people go, and they maybe not just Tennessee, they move to Idaho, they move to, Florida, they move to Tennessee.
Texas, yeah.
But they're moving, there is a small portion of them that are moving back.
And I understand that because I'm from the beach. Yeah. And it's a different world. And I miss it so much. But
but I also think too, a lot of people during COVID, during all of this craziness in the real estate market, I think even people in New York, even people in Tennessee, people everywhere in other states benefited so much when they sold their homes at these really high values. And then they're like, well, my dream has always been to live in California, and now I can afford it. So I think there's some of that going on. And then that's also happened, I think, within California itself. People are kind of migrating from the north to the south and the south to the north.
So I have heard that. I had clients who, they were from Northern California and they were moving, or no, they had moved from the south to the north. And then they decided they didn't like Northern California. So they came to Tennessee. Well, they ended up landing in Alabama, but yeah. All right. Well, speaking of landing in different places, you two have had to, immerse yourself into this new culture. So we're going to play some trivia.
Okay.
With
I'm
you two.
scared.
Why?
Is it like historical trivia?
No, it is not historical.
study.
I was going to, and then I was like, maybe I should just keep it to, I don't think either of you were looking at the history books for Tennessee.
No.
All right, so.
If I had time to prepare, I would have pulled out a history book.
Okay, all right.
So now you know for next time.
I know for next time. All right, so what we'll do is I'm going to ask the question, and you're going to buzz in with your answer with your name. Okay, so I'll ask the question, and then if Roxanne knows it first, she'll go Roxanne.
Okay.
And you'll say Kevin.
Got it.
Whoever says it first gets to go first,
Got
and,
it.
see who wins at the end of this. Okay?
Who's going to keep score?
I got it right
Got
here.
it.
Yep, I got it.
I'm so nervous.
All right.
I'm not great at trivia, but I am very competitive, so we're going to see how this goes.
All right, y'all ready?
NorCal versus SoCal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, NorCal versus SoCal.
SoCal.
Loser has to move back.
Her face. Don't make me do that. All right, so you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Breakfast is breakfast, lunch is lunch, but what is dinner?
Roxanne.
Okay.
Supper.
Yes.
Oh. I was like, dinner.
Duh.
It's like, this is easy. Got it.
No, we do call it supper around here. All right.
Wait. For the record here, how long have you been? Because I just completed my 1 year anniversary here.
So I do have an edge over you. So I'm like coming up on 6 years.
Dang. All right, this is an unfair game. All right, let's see.
All right.
All right, if I get 1 point on the board, I think we'll call it a win.
Okay.
All right. Question number 2. What is a Southerner most likely to be hit upside of?
Kevin. The head?
The head.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna hit you upside the head.
Yeah.
Or it hit me upside the head.
Yeah, now,
Yeah.
like, so
Now it makes
obvious.
sense.
God. Okay.
All right.
I didn't think I was going to get it.
A month of Sundays means what?
Let me get my crickets sound effect out here.
I know, right?
Can
The
you
silence
repeat?
is deafening.
I don't know.
All right.
August?
The Lord's month or something.
A month of Sundays is if you haven't seen your mother in a month and you've missed too many Sunday dinners.
Oh,
That's
a month of Sundays.
cute.
Isn't that adorable? I thought so too. Actually, I mean, I've heard of it, but in a different way. All right, so neither of you got that one. I'm just gonna give myself the point. All right, this one. Roxanne said she had a toad in her throat earlier, and I said that's funny because that's interesting to what I'm about to ask. All right, what's the primary protein in frogmore stew? Your face.
Roxanne. A frog.
Absolutely not.
A toad.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Guys, it's shrimp.
What?
Frogmore soup.
Frogmore stew, also known as a low country boil. It's the shrimp, potatoes, sausage, corn.
Isn't that just like
A shrimp boil?
yeah?
We
Okay.
call it frogmore stew in some places.
Frogmore stew.
Gonna give myself
Okay.
that
But
one
where's
as well.
the frog? Why do they call Okay, because you know me. You know how my brain works, and now I have to ask for the
Look.
literal explanation.
I don't really know. I don't have the literal. You know what? We'll discuss
gonna
this later.
research it.
Yeah, we'll bring this back up later.
Okay.
All right.
I'm writing it down.
All right. What does it mean when someone says that's high cotton?
If I had to guess, it's something along the lines of bougie, but it sounds like. But I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend I know.
You are correct.
Okay. Kevin, bougie.
Nice.
All right. So,
job.
because bougie is just, a term that's only come up not long ago. Yeah, it's expensive or rich.
So the store
Because cotton, you know.
the store in town called High Cotton
Yes.
is alluding to the fact that
See,
they're
so you should have
bougie.
known that.
Except I don't know if they're bougie.
So what is it again? Because I'm gonna start using that.
High cotton, like that's high cotton.
That's high cotton. Ooh. You're welcome, everyone
That's
listening. We're gonna
pretty
put you on Tennessee game.
That's pretty slick.
I like
would
that. I like that
say.
better than bougie.
It's so
Yeah.
funny that you guys like this because
Yeah.
I've heard it my whole life and
You're
like
like-
it's never been.
Yeah.
So new to us.
I know.
That's high cotton. That's high
That is high cotton.
cotton. Ooh.
All right, last one. You guys have done okay, but Roxanne, you're losing. All right, so what is a doohickey?
Roxanne, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a doohickey.
That's a doohickey.
That doohickey over there.
That one made it out of Tennessee, I think. I heard that.
I
when was
have
still-
heard doohickey before.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty common.
Tennessee's
So
trendy like that.
yeah, well, you guys tied it up.
What?
That's fun.
We need a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I did learn this fun fact earlier. What is the soda that Tennessee not invented, but it was invented here?
It's a soda.
It's a soda.
Like a brand or
a type.
Then, like Coke, Sprite, Dr. Pepper.
root beer?
No,
Okay. Moonshine.
that's not a soda. What are you
I was
talking
gonna say Mountain Dew.
Yes,
Wow.
that is correct.
Oh, you got me. Dang it.
Mountain. I guess because we have mountains and there's like dew.
Okay.
You know.
Well, have you guys seen that documentary?
Hold on. We're the fact checkers. Hold on, wait. I don't
Have
know.
you seen that documentary about the people that live in the Appalachians and how they're addicted to Mountain Dew?
Yes, people are addicted to this stuff.
There's a
Like it's
documentary
crazy.
about it. It's actually really sad. But that's probably
There's your
where I
fun
learned
fact.
that from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's your
You know
fun
what?
fact.
Secret time. I hope I don't get run out of town. I don't like Mountain Dew.
I don't either.
All right.
Ugh,
All right. Cool. I hope we don't get run out of town.
No. Yeah.
It's
I don't
too
like
much.
it either.
way too much.
Got
No.
it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kevin, thank you for joining us. It was super fun to have you and hear your California to Tennessee story. Go ahead and plug yourself, especially for those real estate agents who are listening and want to use you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for the plug. Yeah, so we started off, we moved here from California. We're a one-man band, but we just recently hired 2 photographers, so we are growing. Yeah.
Good for
exciting.
you.
Breaking news, yes. Here. But yeah, so I primarily focus in real estate photography. So if you have a listing, give me a call. I got you covered from everything you need: photos, drone, Matterport, video, you name it. So yeah,
Where can they find you on Instagram?
On Instagram, look it up, Nashville Media Co. And that should come up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, okay. Well, I will tell you what really happened to me this past week that I'm still going. I can't believe that really happened. I was showing homes to an older client, an older couple, right? Like, and I feel like they are very honest about their feelings and thoughts. And there's just, you hit a certain age and you're like,
There's no filter.
there's no filter. And so I pull up to this house. Well, I have this running board on my car that comes in and out as you open your door. And lately, the motor on it has not been working. So I go to open my door and I hear the sound. You can hear it. It sounds exactly like it's coming out, except it doesn't come out. Well, my clients were standing right there, like right outside my door. And so I wasn't looking down. I just assumed that the running board had come out. And so I go to step out and there's no running board. Like it didn't actually come out. And I fell in front of them and she busted out laughing. And then he called me Elizabeth. That's not my name.
He calls you Elizabeth?
He calls me Elizabeth and he goes, "You okay, Elizabeth?" And like the whole scenario is just so funny and ridiculous. I'm telling they're older and like, you know.
Oh my God.
I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I laughed. They laughed. It was a moment. It was a moment that I hope to never relive. And I have absolutely taught myself a lesson, and that lesson is that you always look out even if you hear that running board.
You check
every time.
Did this change your relationship with this couple? Was everything kind of like more fun and easygoing afterwards?
You know,
moment in front of them.
No, it was always fun and easygoing from the beginning, which is why I think it was embarrassing, but less embarrassing, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that really happened was when we were house hunting for our own home a year and a half ago, and there was this house that we saw, and we're driving in, and I did not realize there was a cemetery right next to it, and it looked like a really old cemetery. And this house was a brick home, needed a ton of work, but it was on a really beautiful piece of property. So we get in the house. The house inside was kind of nothing great. And we were like, nah, this is going to be way too much work. We can't do this. So we get outside. The minute I step outside, I got this super dark feeling come over me. Like my stomach turned to knots. I was anxious. I was feeling like this cloud over me for some reason, and then I felt like I was being suffocated. Like I felt like I was short of breath.
Yeah.
And I know this could also sound like I was having a panic attack. I was not having a panic attack. It was definitely like just a bad vibe going on here. And I turned to my husband and I said, we gotta go. There's something up with this house. I don't know if it's the cemetery right next door, but
probably. We have so many old cemeteries around here.
There was a bad juju, something going on there. And then I had a dream about it that night. And I had a dream about like a dark figure in that home. And I'm like,
that just confirmed that was not the home for you.
It was not the home. We were not meant to buy it. I don't think we were wanted there. So
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that creepy?
We have so many old cemeteries in random places around here, and I don't know if it's just because this hasn't been Tennessee, Middle Tennessee has not been fully developed yet. You know what I mean? You have the city, but then you start coming out, and there's all these homes just on like random hills. You know what I mean? So I guess they like buried people.
They buried
by
their
family. Yeah.
Family, and
then they sell off the
plots.
land.
Yeah. But you can't do anything with a cemetery. It
has to stay. Yeah.
So kind of tangent story, but my in-laws, they bought a lot of acreage about an hour west of here, and when we drove up to check out the property for the first time, we realized that a part of the property was across the street and it surrounded this cemetery. Well, what's interesting is that we go into the cemetery and they already loved the property. We had already checked it out. We went across the street to the cemetery and lo and behold, there are a whole family of Spences in that cemetery.
And
you know what? We're Spences.
You're Spence.
Spence. And Spence is not a name you hear every day. You hear Spencer. Like, I get that a lot.
Right.
Like, oh, are you Spencer? No, I'm Spence. But to see, like, 10 Spences all in a row, it actually kind of sealed the deal.
Yeah, this is perfect. This is where we're going to land.
Was like, this is meant to be. This is where we're going to be buried.
This was for us.
What a great episode, Leslie. That was a lot of fun. And it was so nice talking to Kevin.
Yeah.
You guys definitely need to go give him a follow, Nashville Media Co. on Instagram. I think he has a Facebook. I'm not sure if he uses it, but definitely check him out on Instagram. And actually, if you want some examples of some of his work, Leslie and I have both worked with him, and you can find some of his content on both of our Instagrams as well. So, yeah, I think that's about it.
That's it. See you later, Roxanne.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Nashville Darlings, please subscribe and find us on Instagram at the Nashville Darlings.